No, I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to smack it raw.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the host are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion is advised. Hand jobbers and hand jobbies, welcome to the Smackin Raw podcast, episode 134. I am your host, the Warden Matt Ritter, and I am back, as always, with my co-hosts. First up, we have Bear. If you are watching, you will see the dog that does not speak unless we ask him not to, and then I'll bark all over the place. And my other co-host, the one that does speak on command, Sir Cuss-a-Lot Travis Pointer, a.k.a. the Dragon King, a.k.a. Big T, a.k.a. Sweet T, a.k.a. T Money, a.k.a. T-Bag, a.k.a. Black Merlin, a.k.a. the HNIC.
What's happening?
I think instead of news and rumors, we're going to start calling our news and rumors segment the Spank Bank.
I don't see the correlation, but I'll go with it. Go ahead.
News and rumors is so boring. I wanted to call it something else. And that
No,
was the
I
first thing
hear
that came
you.
to my mind.
I just told you I'm okay with it. There's just I don't see the correlation, but I'm okay with there not being any correlation.
Also, to kick off this week's Spank Bank, we're going to need you to slide into Sasha's DMs.
Doing it.
And while Travis is doing that,
You're back now at the Jack Off Hour. This is DJ E.
That's a good one. That's a good one. We're going to get a copyright claim on this one for sure, but I don't care.
This one goes out to the ladies from all the guys. A big bow. Because we're going to make it a little mystery here tonight.
This is DJ E.
On the station that slaps you across your fat ass with a fat dick. And I met you last night, baby. Before you opened up your gap, I had respect for your lady. But now I take it all back. 'Cause you gave me.
and we've got a panda waving his tongue up and down, back and forth in a seductive manner while sitting on a porch in someone's backyard.
Oh, man.
I mean, she came back, Travis. She's back, and we'll talk about the rumor.
I like to feel like, it was my DMs that inspired her to do so.
We'll talk about the rumors of where she was.
By the way, none of these DMs that I've sent has said seen, so she has yet to see any of them. But,
She probably just gets so many DMs that she hasn't had time to open yours yet.
She just ignores it. Yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's a long-term plan, sir. Eventually, she'll open it, and she'll see, 2 years' worth of panda gifts. And then she'll be like, what is this? And then, then love will spring, and, it'll be me and Sasha. And she'll be, hosting alongside us on this podcast every week.
So apparently, Vince McMahon is not allowing talent to go on Vicky Guerrero's podcast because she was featured on AEW. So he is banning WWE talent from going on her podcast, which is petty as fuck.
If it's true.
I don't see why talent wouldn't be going on her podcast if it wasn't true.
I mean, maybe because they don't care. Honestly, who's on the show now that was around when Vicky was on? besides Randy Orton and Kofi
and Ray and Big E and Dolph.
What was Big E doing when she was on the show? Big E was still in NXT, bro.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Vicky had Dolph and Big E and all that. It was a whole thing.
Dolph had Big E after that, bro. That was after Vicky.
No.
Yeah.
No, Vicky was still there.
What I'm saying is the majority of the roster now doesn't have that relationship with Vicky.
I don't know. All the women competed with her in that Royal Rumble. So
they met her once. Okay. Guess what? I met Ron Simmons once. That doesn't mean I'm on this podcast.
if Ron Simmons asked you to be on his podcast and he had a podcast, would you not go on?
Oh, I'd definitely go on. That doesn't mean she's asked them.
Okay, then.
You don't know she's asked them.
The story is that Vince is not allowing WWE talent to go on Vicky's podcast because Vicky had done some stuff with AEW. And that sounds like some Vince McMahon level petty to me. So I'm choosing to believe it.
I'm not, because see, here's the thing. I don't subscribe to the fact that Vince gives a shit about AEW. Like, I really feel like Vince has gotten like to the point where he feels like he's so above it all. He just don't give a shit. And he's old as fuck too. He probably doesn't even think they really exist. Like his
Well, we're gonna get into how much of a shit.
The combination of his own hubris and his ego and his elderly state combined together to him not believing this is a real thing. I don't think he cares. I honestly don't.
We'll get into how much of a shit Vince doesn't seem to be giving in a little while. Mind you, ladies and gentlemen, that we are recording today is Leap Day, February 29th, and we were recording just before the start of AEW Revolution, which I will be tuning into. I'm going to take a wild guess and say that you don't even plan on streaming it illegally.
Probably not. There's no problem.
Because I know you're not paying the $50.
Oh, I'm definitely not giving them $50 for that shit.
Yeah.
So I'll just like let you watch it, and then you can tell me what happened.
Also in the Spank Bank, apparently
you want to do a post show on it?
No. Apparently Samoa Joe failed the wellness policy again.
Well, there's no apparently. They did it on the WWE website. Like, yo, wellness policy violation. You out.
So there were reports that he got a concussion while filming a commercial or something. What I'm trying to figure out is, what does the wellness policy actually cover? Is it just failed drug tests? Is it like, can he be suspended because he's had so many concussions? Kind of like Alexa was out for all that time. They wouldn't clear her.
Yeah, but she wasn't suspended. Like, there's a difference between like actually saying somebody is suspended as opposed to somebody just not being able to compete because of, health reasons.
Do you think he got high so he didn't have to go to Saudi?
Here's the thing. If I was in WWE and like if it was my first wellness policy violation, which is only 30 days, and that kept me out of Saudi, I would definitely fail a piss test right before Saudi. Because guess what? Last time they went to Saudi, motherfuckers got stuck there. So
they got back. They made it back. They just
eventually,
got a little delayed. And
eventually,
it gave us the best episode of SmackDown we've seen so far. So
the best episode of Friday Night SmackDown we've seen so far.
On Fox. SmackDown on Fox. Last but not least, because I was going to talk about Drake and him walking around with 2 wrestling belts, but like, why do we give a fuck?
What? No, we don't talk about
fuck
Drake here. Look, only Canadians we acknowledge here are Chris Jericho and Bret Hart, all right?
And Chris Benoit.
Yeah, him too. And Trish.
Rumors are that the reason Sasha's been gone isn't because she was filming isn't because she was recording a new album. It's because she was filming scenes for the next season of The Mandalorian.
I thought she was injured. I could have sworn you mentioned her being injured.
No, they told us that Lacey had injured her ankle. That was a while ago, though.
Well, even if that's true, we won't find out till fucking October anyway. So by then, I'll forget you even said this to me.
So if she's in it, you're excited, and then you forget, and then it comes up, and you forget I told you, and you're excited all over again.
Exactly. But for right now, that this information means nothing to me.
All right, Travis, let's have a little fun here.
Let's
Because
have fun.
I tried to tweet you and get you involved, and you ignored me.
Well,
because,
you tweet a lot, Matt. So
yeah, but
me. Whoop, you froze. What now?
I directly tweeted at you this, and you ignored me.
What'd you tweet at me?
I had another brilliant money-making idea, and you let one fall slip through your grasp. I don't think you're going to let this one, Travis.
I don't even remember you tweeting anything else at me. What'd you say? What happened?
We need to make WWE-inspired dildos.
Oh, I did see that. Here's the thing. I may or may not have a dildo guy.
Well, you also told me you may or may not have a fucking dating app guy, and you didn't.
No. I do have an app guy. The problem with this app guy is I have to sell him on this shit. And this app guy is not a wrestling fan, so he doesn't get it. So that wouldn't have worked anyway. Now, because I went through a whole design school. And when you go through a design school, there are people who design all kinds of shit. Usually it's just the typical shit of, clothing and graphics and things of that nature, But every now and then you meet somebody who does something original or unique.
Like making dildos.
Gay dude named Armando.
What's up, Armando? You're probably not listening.
He's not listening. He's not a wrestling fan at all. However, when I was in Orlando, I met a gay Puerto Rican dude named Armando who designed dildos and sold them. Here's the thing. If I were to message Armando, would he or would he not accept my, return my DM or, message or whatever is up in the air.
All this is fantastic.
I will not send him a dick pic to make that happen, by the way. Maybe I would. That's not the point.
We're going to do an OnlyFans, and this is going to make us more money than your OnlyFans were. So if you're going to put your dick out there for $5 a subscription, I think you need to send Armando your dick
how much
so we can get this.
OnlyFans would make, sir.
Travis, I know our dildo money would be greater than your OnlyFans money. So if for $5 a subscription, you're going to flop your dick out there, you might as well send Armando one complimentary and get us that WWE dildo money. I want to be rolling in WWE dildo money. Now, here's the thing. All that's great, and that is something, Armando, and how we get him to accept our business offer is something we can talk about after the podcast. What I want to talk about is how WWE is perfectly suited for a business like this. You've got names like the Monster Among Men.
Okay.
The King of Kings.
Okay.
I mean, the Big Show itself.
There was a shirt to go along with it.
Yeah.
Still my favorite shirt ever in WWE history.
There are so many wrestlers' monikers and nicknames that we can take and turn into dildo form. The gray one. My favorite is an actual dildo set. And it would start with a small dildo and it would work to a really big dildo. We call it the Hall of Pain.
The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Or just the Hitman.
Maybe. Well, I'm saying when you do the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be, that's 3 of them in a set.
That is 3. That is 3.
Butt plugs.
And then you could do things like, go old school. You get the American Dream, and it'll be red, white, and blue. Like,
Yeah.
Park did with the shake weight. We'll do like our own version of a shake weight, and we'll call it the Ric Flair, because to be the man, you got to beat the man. Like, I'm telling you, Travis, this is money.
Oh man. Okay. I got to. If I can get Armando to answer me on Facebook, be all right. I can talk to him. I don't even know if he still does that. This is back in like 2011. So we'll see.
I got the idea from somebody on Twitter at WrestleLife23 who made a comment, and it spawned this wonderful idea in my head. And there's so many more. And if you guys want to hear
or I can just use
more
the tonal
ideas,
Willie and just make a bunch of like copies of my dick, and then
no, we need to have different ones, Travis.
Nah,
More than one. More. You can't clone mine. I'm married. Only Kate can have it. Nobody can have even a clone of it. Can't do that. So
my dick
like,
is all you need.
Maybe
bro.
John. No, we need different size. Like I said, for the Hall of Pain, I need a bunch of different sizes. It can't just be the same dick. You just paint it red, white, and blue and call it something different.
Bruh. I bring the pain if I need to. No, I hear you.
All right. You want to jump
John's
into
not married
SmackDown?
Yet. He's still fighting it, but he'll be married soon.
Eventually. SmackDown, AEW, Raw, or NXT?
Tell me what happened on SmackDown. I'm curious. I didn't see it.
You didn't watch SmackDown?
When would I have seen SmackDown, sir?
I don't know, Travis. When you got home last night, before you got on the podcast, because you got home at 3, we didn't start till 4:30, so that's like an hour and a half.
We talked about how Hulu does SmackDown. That won't be up till tomorrow.
Well, to talk about SmackDown, we got to talk about Crown or Super Showdown.
Same shit. Whatever you were about to say. Tell me
you
about
haven't
Super
heard by
Showdown,
now, Travis.
Sir.
If you haven't heard by now, Goldberg beat The Fiend.
I heard people were upset, Matt. Why are people so upset,
Yeah,
Matt?
because Goldberg beat The Fiend to become the new Universal Champion, which I'm not upset about, Travis. That's the thing. I know why they did it. I think it's stupid, but I know why they did it. I'm not upset about it. What I am upset about
What do you think
is
the reason is behind doing
execution.
it? What do you think why do you think they did it?
Because they, as of what they set up on Friday Night SmackDown, which we'll talk about right now because it was 2 sentences, Goldberg versus Roman Reigns is happening for the Universal title at WrestleMania. Goldberg came out on SmackDown as champion. He said, it's not about who was last, it's about who's next. And then Roman Reigns came out and said, I'm next, and then walked away. And there you go. Championship match at WrestleMania. There is no faith that Roman Reigns is going to get cheered.
I was about to say, there's another step to that you got to make sure you acknowledge. Go ahead.
There's no faith from the WWE that Roman Reigns will be cheered if he defeats The Fiend.
This is not a matter of faith. It is a fact. If Roman Reigns beats The Fiend at WrestleMania, where's WrestleMania this year?
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I don't really know Tampa like that. Luckily, it's not in like Chicago or fucking LA or New York. He won't get booed in Tampa, but there will be silence. Like if he beats The Fiend at fucking WrestleMania. Like that's a bad idea having him beat The Fiend at WrestleMania. Now, if he beats Goldberg, they will cheer him. If he beats The Fiend,
well, that's what I was going to say. Because they were dead set on having Roman Reigns in the main event for the Universal title. That was happening. They put the belt on Goldberg. They had Goldberg defeat The Fiend, thinking that was going to put the heat on Goldberg, and that'll make the people want to cheer Roman Reigns. Here's the thing. Everyone's been saying it. Everyone's been talking about it. Everyone knows what WWE's doing. So, like, they're not really finessing us because we know what they're trying to do.
See, here's the thing. They don't have to finesse you. It's still a lesser of two evils. Like, it's just that you
No, Travis. I actually would have rather had a actual Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt The Fiend match at WrestleMania that went like 20, 25, 30 minutes and was competitive and had Roman Reigns come out on top than the less than 3-minute match I got where the Fiend basically got squashed by Goldberg. Go ahead.
When have you ever seen Roman Reigns go that long?
Roman Reigns has gone that long plenty of times.
When? Give me one.
Against Brock Lesnar.
That match went about 15 minutes, bro. Give me another one.
He just did 30 minutes in Saudi Arabia against fucking Baron Corbin in a steel cage.
Against Baron Corbin, bro. That's different. That's not the Fiend.
The opening of the Royal Rumble again against Baron Corbin. Like I'm saying, Roman can do
against Corbin is different than what you can do against the Fiend as a character. You can only do that for so long. You can't go 25, 26 minutes with the Fiend.
Daniel Bryan did. Seth Rollins did.
I don't think Daniel Bryan did. I give you Seth Rollins. In that Hell in a Cell match, that went entirely too long, if you ask me.
No, I'm talking about at Saudi Arabia when the Fiend won the title from Seth Rollins. But anyway,
well, that would explain it because I didn't watch that shit.
You telling me what Roman Reigns can or cannot do, or the amount of time they can fill against the Fiend because of the character? Bill Goldberg beat him in less than 3 minutes. He got up from explosions and getting hit in the face with a fucking sledgehammer with a lunchbox or a toolbox and chairs and shit. And he took one vertical suplex. It wasn't even a jackhammer, and got pinned and lost. So don't tell me what can or can't happen or how long a match can or can't go because.
So what you're telling me is you'd rather see Roman Reigns beat the Fiend for the Universal title than see the Fiend destroy John Cena?
Well, we'll get to that.
No,
but yeah.
blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
Would you really?
Yes.
So you would rather see him lose to Roman Reigns than see him destroy a quote legend?
Yes, because I just had to watch him lose
because he will
in a shitty way.
John Cena. You realize he will destroy John Cena, right? Like he is going to. There will be a little bit of back and forth.
I just watched.
In the end, he will destroy John Cena, bro.
Yeah, that's great. Except I just watched him get 0 moves of offense on Goldberg, speared 5 times, vertical suplexed, and pinned. So I've got no fucking faith that he's going to destroy John Cena. I've got no faith that he is going to get offense on John Cena. I have no faith that John Cena's not going to walk out winning that match. And they did a goddamn terrible job setting the match up, which is what we're going to talk about now. Because John Cena came out on SmackDown and did a 15-minute long speech about how he wasn't going to take a spot at WrestleMania. He wasn't going to compete at WrestleMania, that he hears the fans and the fans want young, new talent, and he's not going to compete. He leaves the ring. He goes up the rampway. The lights go out. The Fiend is standing there. The guy who just lost his Universal title, mind you, the night before, who should be angry. The guy who every time, no, don't. I'm not done. I will let you know when I'm done. The guy who every time he shows up has assaulted his victims and dragged them and beat them, except for Goldberg, stands on the fucking rampway and points at the sign. And all of the shit that John Cena just said, everything about not taking spots from younger guys and not competing and listening to the fans, he just says, fuck it, and nods and accepts the match, like completely negating the 15-minute speech that he was crying in that he just gave us. For what? The Fiend didn't do anything to him. He didn't attack him. He didn't assault him personally. So what's the point of him all of a sudden changing his opinion and taking that match? And why is the Fiend just standing there like anybody else and pointing at the WrestleMania sign? That's not the Fiend. So go ahead. What do you got?
I forgot what I was going to say when I put my finger up because I got distracted by the whole Fiend coming out because it was really funny seeing the Fiend point at the WrestleMania sign. But if you look at what the Fiend's character really is, as the Fiend, he shouldn't give a fuck about the title anyway. He just likes fucking people up. So him like being upset about not, about losing the Universal title, whatever. Fuck you, John Cena. I'm gonna whoop your ass and like fuck you the fuck up. So what's your problem?
He didn't. He stood there and pointed at a sign and then left.
He gonna do it at WrestleMania when everybody's watching, so everybody can see.
That's not how the Fiend has operated up until now.
And I will destroy you in front of everyone, not just the people who are watching SmackDown Live this week.
And who is your favorite wrestler of all time, Travis? It's John Cena, because he is an unstoppable superhero that cannot be defeated, who overcomes the odds every single time. Oh, we all know.
Who the fuck
Cena
do you think you are talking to right now? If there has ever been
Travis
anyone
Pointer
who has vehemently opposed John Cena from the fucking get-go, it is this dude. Even when you were cheering fucking John Cena, when I said, fuck that, he is Dr. Seuss in a baseball cap. Do not disrespect me like that, motherfucker.
That was the other thing that kind of bothered me, was I was hoping with all the vignettes they were showing and this whole resurgence of the ruthless aggression era that WWE is doing on the network and all those things, that he was going to come back as the Doctor of Thugonomics.
Pause. What resurgence of the ruthless aggression era?
On the WWE network right now, there is a documentary. It's multiple parts on the ruthless aggression era. The first one is an overview of ruthless aggression. The second one is on John Cena. The third one that they released is on Evolution itself, the group.
So the era that made me like stop watching for like 3 years. Got you. Continue.
And it looks like they're going to highlight Edge and Brock Lesnar on his early run, and Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit. Probably not Chris Benoit, but Eddie Guerrero's title run as champion.
That was a period of time where like I kind of watched, but not really. Like I kept up with what happened, but I didn't really watch it.
Well, you've got to remember the ruthless aggression era started in like 2002, 2001, 2002, and stretched all the way to like 2012.
Well, I'm talking about like 06 to like 2011.
Yeah, so there's a lot in there that you did watch.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was hoping the Doctor of Thugonomics would come back. He didn't. We need to get back to doing this rundown. We had the Battle of the Booty 2. It was a rematch between Bayley and Naomi. And this time you actually got to see a little bit. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. Those shirts didn't hide anything at Saudi Arabia, but they were still completely covered head to toe. Here you had Bayley in her normal gear and Naomi in her normal gear going.
One of these days we'll get Bayley in the shorts, and I'll be like, you're my favorite.
Before the match starts, Bayley says that the only reason she's here is to bring down a soon-to-be platinum recording artist who's better than Cardi B and Beyonce and Nicki Minaj and Sasha Banks.
I will give you Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. You will not disrespect the name of Beyonce like that.
You got to talk to Bayley. I'm not doing it. That was Bayley.
Oh, well, I will definitely talk to Bayley and her booty.
Sasha comes down. Naomi looks like she's about to get the win. It was a non-title match, by the way. Sasha comes in and interferes on Bayley's behalf, causing the DQ. Those two jump Naomi, and Lacey Evans comes down for the win. Or not for the win, for the save, because she's had problems with Bayley and Sasha herself. So
I mean, I hear you. I just why do they keep trying to make this Lacey Evans thing happen? Like, it's just
Oh, I didn't think that's why you made that look. I thought you made that look because you didn't. A lot of people, from what I saw, people of color on Twitter didn't like the pairing of Naomi and Lacey Evans when they turned this into a tag match. I even saw someone say,
I can understand.
Why is she with this colonizer? And then it was LOL.
I can understand that. I can understand why they thought that. It's I get it. I get it. Those of you listening, I get it. Problem is with me, I just automatically went to the point where I don't give a shit about Lacey Evans. Like, it's just go away. Go away. This whole trying to make her a face thing, not a good idea. Go away.
I don't get it, but
You
I
don't
don't
get
see the
what?
problem there. I don't see the problem with Naomi and Lacey tag teaming. I don't see the issue there.
It's the character she was playing before combined with what she is now with Naomi. It's don't worry about it. I don't want to call it petty, but it's just it doesn't compute. I understand why it doesn't compute. It's irrelevant. Don't worry about it. Move on.
Well, Lacey and Naomi get the win. I dubbed them Team American Booty.
Yo, that's a great porno. Have you ever seen it?
No. So they get the win.
So it's a parody of the movie American Beauty with Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, no, I figured that. That's kind of what I was doing. Yeah.
It's
Keep going.
so good. It's so good. Anyway, keep going.
You guys can find that on Pornhub. And while you're there, you guys go check out pornhub.com/user/creation world. And you guys can find us, like, and subscribe.
The #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub.
We have Kofi versus Robert Roode next. And Travis, even though Kofi lost to Robert Roode, I think you would have appreciated this for the heel work in this match.
What? How the fuck? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because Dolph Ziggler, and we're still hashtag fuck Dolph Ziggler, and Robert
Fuck
Roode
him.
worked as a heel tag team. They got Big E ejected from ringside without Big E doing anything. Dolph distracted the ref. Robert Roode threw himself into the stairs and made a big noise while Big E was standing over there. Ref came over. Ref said, I heard it. Big E said, I didn't do it. He goes, I don't care. I heard it. Got Big E ejected. You got Dolph Ziggler putting Robert Roode's leg on the ropes and helping him out. And yeah, they ended up just being too much for Kofi to handle 2-on-1.
You're
Pulling old
right.
school heel tactics.
If I say you're absolutely right, I do appreciate good heel work. Yeah. I understand. I get it.
We also find out during this match that it looks like Mandy and Dolph Ziggler are together. Mandy is backstage watching the match. Sonya comes out and refers to Dolph as her man.
What?
Sonya refers to Dolph as her man.
Wait, Sonya refers to Dolph as her man?
Sonya refers to Dolph as Mandy's man. She said, as Sonya walks up and Mandy is watching this tag team match, she comes up and says, your man looks happy, as Dolph and Bobby Roode are walking away.
But how does Mandy respond to that?
She doesn't deny it.
Yeah, but whatever. Well, that's Otis's woman. Anyway, go ahead.
So Otis, meanwhile, is backstage watching the match and watching Mandy watch the match, and he looks disheveled. His shirt's all unkempt. His hair's fucked up. He looks like he's been crying and eating ice cream for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, but he's been going through some things, man.
He has. I'm with you on that. So Tucker sits down, and Tucker says, listen, sometimes the guy doesn't get the girl. Sometimes Dolph Ziggler gets the girl. You got to accept that and move on. But next week, Tucky, we're going to get you out there. We're going to get you some love. We're going to get you back out in front of the people that would never choose Dolph Ziggler over you, the WWE Universe. And Otis is with it. So next week on SmackDown, we will see Otis return to in-ring action in front of the WWE Universe.
I'm with it.
And I'm assuming we're building this to a Dolph Ziggler, Tucker, or at least Heavy Machinery versus Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler match at WrestleMania. My thing is people are speculating that Tucker is in on this. and is working against Otis. And I don't see it.
I don't either.
I'm not with it, and I don't want to believe
but
it.
I think I remember you saying something like this on Twitter. Or was this in the group?
It might have been in the group.
What's the group?
Facebook.com/group/Smackin' Raw.
Get in there. All of y'all. All up in there.
Then we got a contract signing. It's Braun Strowman, who suffers a Janet Jackson-esque, well, I guess it's not really Janet Jackson-esque nip slip, but he suffers a nip slip, and his nipple is pierced, which is why I thought of Janet Jackson right away, because of the pierced nipple. But no one really ripped it away. It just kind of
Braun
popped out of the
Strowman's
tank
nipple
top.
is pierced?
Yes.
That's amazing.
So anyway,
So is
he's
mine.
doing a contract signing against Shinsuke Nakamura. Of course, Cesaro and Sami Zayn are down there. They ask Braun to sit down, so he picks the chair up and chucks it out of the ring. And then Braun makes a huge error. Sami says they need to review the documents, and Braun says, just give it to me. I'll sign it. I don't care what it says, because I know in the end I'm going to have to fight all three of you little bitches anyway. So he signs the document, and Sami's like, you mean what you just said there? You guys heard that, right? He said he would fight all three of us for the Intercontinental. That's what you said. And Braun's like, oh, you're going to try and spin my words like that? He goes, no. You said you were going to fight all three of us. So it is a 3-on-1 handicap match for the Intercontinental title at Elimination Chamber. Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and Shinsuke versus Braun Strowman. The three of them not only beat down Braun Strowman, but Sami hits 2 haluva kicks, one of which they do while holding Braun Strowman up for a suplex and put him through the table.
Bro, listen. This sounds like a very fun episode of SmackDown, dude. Keep going.
All I know is, well, I'm making it sound a lot more fun than I really think it was. But anyway, all I know is if this is the case, I need Sami Zayn to finesse his way into being the only one of them that is Intercontinental Champion and cheat Shinsuke and Cesaro out of it.
That would be so great. Like if somehow Sami Zayn, without doing anything, ends up being Intercontinental Champion. I will stand up and applaud him.
Next up, Drew Gulak continued the Social Outcast Redemption Tour 2020. Last week, he brought Heath Slater out of obscurity to lose to Daniel Bryan. This week, he went and grabbed Curtis Axel. Next week will probably be Bo Dallas. And then at Elimination Chamber, we will see the man that ate Adam Rose versus Daniel Bryan with the guidance of Drew Gulak. And we will have successfully brought back every member of the Social Outcasts to do a redemption tour. Obviously, Daniel Bryan defeats Kurt Axel here. Yeah. Kurt comes close. No cigar. Our new WWE Tag Team Champions, The Miz and Morrison, who defeated the New Day.
Pause. Who didn't see that coming?
I don't know.
Did anybody out there not see that coming? If you didn't, get in the comments. Let me know that you did not see that coming and why you did not see that coming. Because I did. Matt did.
Yeah, no, I think everyone saw it coming.
Everybody
thing
else
is,
did, except you, right there in the comments. Tell me why not? Tell me. Even hit me up on Twitter at Sir_Cussalott. That is at SIR_CUSSALOTT, and tell me how you didn't see this shit coming. You ever heard of the Great White Hope, Matt?
Yeah, that's me.
They gave you 2 Great White Hopes. 2 of them. 2 of them.
Miz and Morrison come out and cut the promo about how they won and they defeat the New Day. And then because we don't have a general manager.
That's another thing about fucking Saudi. Skipping Saudi. Like they were just in Saudi Arabia like less than 24 hours ago. Had to come back and do a fucking SmackDown show. Fuck that. Suspend me.
So Miz and Morrison cut their promo because we don't have a general manager. It is passed down from the producer or whoever in the back to the ring announcer, to the referee, to the announcer that at Elimination Chamber, it will be the Miz and Morrison defending their SmackDown Tag Team titles against the New Day, against the Usos, against Heavy Machinery, against the Lucha House Party, and against Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode in a Tag Team Elimination Chamber match.
Mm.
You know who I didn't say was there, Travis?
Who did you not say was there?
The Revival.
They do exist, don't they?
There is very heavy speculation that they have not re-signed their WWE contracts, and that is the reason they are being left out of the Elimination Chamber match.
I don't comment on rumors.
And that was SmackDown, Travis. We finished with the John Cena segment. So from what you heard,
Yo, this sounds like a fun SmackDown. I'll swallow it.
I mean, literally the Roman Reigns Goldberg segment was 2 sentences and it lasted 7 minutes. Just
I watched the Goldberg segment on YouTube. I know what happened.
Okay. All right, you're going to swallow. I'm spitting. I wasn't happy with any of it. I mean, I wasn't happy with the 2 main things. I wasn't happy with the way The Fiend challenged John Cena and how John Cena wasted our time. Remember how I said earlier how he only talks when we told him we don't want him to?
Here's the thing. It was just somebody riding by with loud music playing. Nobody came to the door. Nobody was close to our door. But he had to let that motherfuckers know.
So you're swallowing SmackDown. I'm spitting SmackDown.
From
Where you want to go
next?
next?
You told me I'm swallowing SmackDown. Hey, you. Shut the fuck up.
Where you want to go next?
Give me NXT.
All right, we kick it off with Dominic Dijakovic taking on Cameron Grimes. Damian Priest, go ahead.
So maybe this got cut out, but if it did, I will be highly pissed. In this week's iteration of NXT, where was Keith Lee?
Not here.
So we didn't get to bask in his glory?
We did not.
Not even the non-Hulu version of NXT?
Nope.
Okay, go ahead.
Damian Priest goes all Tanya Harding on Dijakovic. Tries to take his knee out. Then takes off through the crowd.
Let me tell you, guess what? I have seen Keith Lee versus Dijakovic 783,000 times. I don't need to see it again. Fuck him.
So what you're saying is Damian Priest is doing you a favor.
He did. Damian Priest did me a motherfucking favor because I'm tired of seeing Keith Lee versus Dijakovic.
Did you see Finn Balor?
By the way, this is different from when I saw Usos versus the New Day, because that was different every time I saw it. Dijakovic
So was
versus
Keith Lee Dominic Dijakovic.
No, it wasn't. Not like Keith Lee, not like the Usos versus the New Day. No, you will not convince me that seeing that match over and over again was the same as seeing the Usos versus the New Day.
You're right. I will not convince you, but I will tell you that you're wrong, and I will tell you that I think the reason you feel that way is because in this scenario, you only like one half of the match. In Uso versus New Day, you like both sides of that match, and that's probably why you feel differently.
I won't tell you you're wrong about that, but I will never tell you you're right about it either.
Did you see Finn Balor?
I did see Finn Balor.
So Finn Balor talks about how great he is and all the stuff he's done and asked who wants the rub. And I'm sure there are a lot of men and women in the crowd that were all ready to get the rub from Finn Balor. But Imperium shows up, and they've got a little message for Finn Balor from the NXT
I was pretty surprised by that. Go ahead.
UK champion, Walter. Walter wants the rub.
Walter wants Finn Balor to give him the rub.
Walter's all about it. And then, of course, Balor goes after Imperium, and they beat him down, do their little standing thing. And, I'll be very interested to see Finn Balor on NXT UK doing an NXT UK match of some sort. We'll see. I'm interested.
I'm in on it.
Did you see Mia Yim versus Xia Li?
There was a Mia Yim match.
Yep.
God damn it, Hulu. Go ahead. Tell me what happened to Mia Yim.
I can't. We're not good enough for Hulu yet. That's how the show works, Travis.
God damn it. Well, what else? What else you got?
Every week. Austin Theory versus Tommaso Ciampa.
Yes.
As we knew,
tell
Ciampa
you.
beat Theory.
Yeah, no shit. I understand why they had to have this match. I get it. Like 100% get why they had to have this match. But did anybody doubt for a second that Ciampa was going to win this match?
I hope not. Well, I mean, there was the possibility of Johnny Gargano, who did show up after the match, costing Ciampa the match. That is a possibility. No, he came in after, but I'm saying there's a possibility that Johnny Gargano could have cost Ciampa the match.
We all knew Ciampa was going to win that shit.
So Johnny Gargano does come in after the match, attacks Ciampa, lays him out, and then even kind of mocks Ciampa sitting on the ring apron, throwing him down to the ground.
Even with the very
Nice little
little
beatdown.
investment I have in Ciampa, I knew Ciampa was going to take this W. And even and I watch this and I say, like, I know I'm supposed to care more about this. Like, I'm supposed to care more about quotes, if you all are just listening and not watching, Johnny Wrestling versus Ciampa. I'm supposed to care more about that. I know I'm supposed to. I don't. But I know I'm supposed to.
You're not supposed to, because you haven't been watching long enough to know why you should care. And right now, NXT hasn't really done a great job of showing you yet why you should care if you've only been watching since NXT debuted on USA. So right now, I don't blame you for not caring, because they haven't given the people who didn't watch NXT before it was on USA a reason to care. And the only people that care are the people that saw the matches that they went through, one of which I got to see live here in Chicago. Thanks. Shout out to the Polish Hammer Phil.
Did you pull your penis out?
I did not pull my penis out.
Every time you see a show live, you need to pull your penis out.
Here's the thing. I'm a married man, Travis.
You are giving me details that are insignificant.
Who brings his wife to the shows with him.
So tell her to pull your penis out. What is the problem?
She does not want my penis out at a live show. She doesn't want anyone seeing it. It is now in her mind and in mine for her eyes only.
Well, then tell them as she pulls it out, when she pulls it out, like, yo, this is my amazing penis. Guess what? Nobody else gets this penis. Like, proclaim that over and over again as you stroke the penis. No,
But see,
okay.
Travis, you know how people are. That's just going to make people want it more.
And guess what?
If I tell them they can't have it, they're just going to want it more.
As long as you never give it to them, it works.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't want people wanting my penis other than my wife.
Why does it matter if you don't give it to them?
because I don't want to deal with that stress and bullshit, Travis. That's just extra shit I don't need in my life. We aren't talking about my penis anymore, which is actually a first on this podcast. Very frequently we talk about Travis's penis. This is, I believe, the first time we've talked about my penis. Did you see the Dream do his backstage thing?
I did see the Dream do his backstage thing.
So next week on NXT,
fun. Go ahead.
We're going to get 2 steel cage matches.
Yeah, apparently.
Because we already got Dakota Kai versus Tegan Nox. And then Dream said, you know what? Just leave the cage down.
Yeah, leave it down. We'll do that shit too.
You're too drunk. I'm not even getting into it with you this week. I'll wait.
What? What's the problem? What's the problem? What is your issue with what the Dream is doing right now?
Why would a heel ask for a steel cage?
He's not a heel. That's your problem. You keep trying to put him in a box. He's not in your little box that you try to put him in. You see this? You see this? He's not in there. He's not in there at all. He's the motherfucking Velveteen Dream, and he goes where the fuck he wants to go.
Did you see Bronson Reed versus Killian Dane?
What?
Reed versus Dane. The thick boy versus the hairy guy from Sanity. The big guy from Sanity.
No, I did not.
Okay. Did you see the Grizzled Young Veterans versus the Forgotten Sons?
No, I didn't see the Grizzled Young Veterans.
We also had a couple incidences of like a promo video with like scenes of war and a clock and some old time news clips playing in it, and like the whole quote from the pale horse, the rider upon him, and all that.
They did some Tombstone shit and I didn't see it.
It was the quote from the Bible, but it wasn't the quote from Tombstone.
Behold the pale horse. The rider that sat upon him was death, and hell followed with him.
This is setting up for what a lot of people believe is going to be the debut of Killer Cross.
Who the fuck is Killer Cross?
An independent wrestler who recently signed with WWE.
I hate him.
Who is a big name on the independent scene. He was in Impact for a while. He is married to Scarlett Bordeaux, who I sent you pictures of and you should be familiar with.
Is he white?
Yes.
Of course he is.
Actually, Mark Henry got some shit because some people were saying that they felt like it was an injustice that Bianca Belair did not win here tonight against Charlotte.
I'm not going to get a bent out of shape about that. I get it. Anyway, go ahead.
Mark Henry said that Bianca's not ready, that she's a future star, but he just doesn't think she's ready yet. A lot of people got bent out of shape. And Mark Henry went on Busted Open Radio, and he did a fantastic speech where they talked about how the fans outside see things one way, but they don't understand how much progress racial equality in professional wrestling has actually achieved. He said right now, if you go to the Performance Center, there are 30 African-American employees, wrestlers, ring announcers, referees, lighting techs, blah, 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 employed by the WWE at the Performance Center training right now. When he was there, 5. And that was for decades. There were 5.
So what he's saying is I need to move back to Orlando? Is that what he's saying? Like Travis needs to move back to Orlando?
Possibly.
Just get on that fucking squad? Because here's the problem with that. I'd have to roll in Full Sail, and Full Sail is so expensive.
Anyway,
but
he talked about.
I get it. I know what he means, and I get it. What were we talking about? Why did I get upset at first before you cut me off? Who knows? Whatever. Continue.
I don't think you were upset. You just said you understand why Charlotte beat Bianca Belair. You know.
Oh, that's right. Because they're trying to build that fucking WrestleMania match between her and Rhea Ripley. and Bianca Belair is a step along the way. Give it a year from now, Bianca Belair will be on top. I have no doubts about that because she's fucking dope. And this thing
that's what Mark Henry said. Mark Henry said he is the checks and balances now, where he doesn't want the fans out here dividing themselves and saying black this and white that. He said it's not that. It's the fans and the wrestlers. And from his eyes and his standpoint,
there is
no difference.
I'm not going to deny that that's the thing. Yeah, that is a thing. I won't deny it. But I will say, a year from now, WrestleMania, Bianca Belair will be on the card.
I'm with you. What he said was he is now the checks and balances, and he is the first person that will speak out and stand up if he sees someone being treated other than they deserve based on the color of their skin.
And if they do, somebody gonna get their ass kicked. Oh,
exactly.
I love his music.
My issue with this whole thing wasn't that Charlotte defeated Bianca Belair, because like you said, that's the match at WrestleMania. It's what happened after, because Charlotte went and got a chair and stomped Bianca's ankle and then put her in a figure four. And Rhea Ripley,
she stood on the fucking ramp and did her whole little spiel on the ramp and let Bianca Belair get her ass whooped after like weeks ago talking about we have a thing here. We are NXT, and they whooped her ass together. You just let her.
It's like she's never saved anyone before.
You just let that shit happen.
As I said on Twitter, not just that, she waited for the beat to drop so she could do her little stomp, Travis.
Yes! Here's the thing. In this match, I was like, I'm all Rhea Ripley in this match until that happened. Now, you know what? I hope Charlotte whoops your ass. Fuck you.
She waited, and then she didn't even run down to the ring to go help Bianca. She walked.
Did her strut down to the ring, Matt?
I've got to assume she got her ass chewed when she came back, because never have I seen The Rock come out to go and save someone like Mick Foley from an ass whooping and do his whole thing and climb all four corner posts while Mick Foley's getting stomped
and start whooping ass.
Yes.
See, here's the thing.
Not good enough for Hulu.
This is
NXT edition.
This is why I say NXT and Raw and SmackDown are on two different levels because they know better than to do shit like that. Anyway, continue.
Not good enough for Hulu, NXT edition. Xia Li defeats Mia Yim because Dakota Kai comes out and distracts Mia Yim.
Who's Xia Li?
She's the Chinese. I sent you those pictures of her that she was posting on Twitter. She's Chinese, really thick. Mark Henry's a big fan.
Gotcha. I remember.
Yeah. Anyway, she defeats Mia Yim, who, by the way, a lot of people, like, I hate doing this because it feels like all we do is talk about race stuff constantly, but they're on Twitter telling her that she isn't black. And that she can't pose in pictures.
Black, half Asian?
Yes, but they're like, you're not black. You can't pose in pictures with black. It's like, she's half black. Well, you don't look black.
All right.
Why are you like this, Twitter?
Blah, 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 blah. Don't say shit. Don't say shit. You don't say anything right now. You don't say anything. Just let me talk. Black people, look at me right here. Look right here. Hold on. I'll even take the shades off. Look right here. Look in the eyes. Let me tell you about mixed race people who are mixed with black. I'm not one of them, but I have several friends who are. In all those cases, people look at them and just say, you're black. And they get treated like black people. So all of you people who are saying she's not black enough or who's not really black, get off your fucking high horse. All right? Mia Yim is as black as any one of you. Cut your shit. Stop being a little punk ass bitch. And give her the credit she deserves. All right, I'm going back. Circus Lot is back. Put the glasses back on. Go ahead.
Raquel Gonzalez then comes down and attacks Mia Yim.
Don't make me put on
Takes
the
her out
crown.
after the match. Bronson Reed defeats Killian Dane.
Who?
And the Grizzled Young Veterans
Wait. Who beats Killian Dane? Who's Killian Dane? I know the name. Who is he?
He's the hairy big guy from Sanity that we talked about like 5 minutes ago.
Never saw that match. Who would he beat?
Well, this is not good enough for Hulu, which is why we're talking about it. I know you didn't see it, and that's how we know, because it wasn't good enough for Hulu, Travis. That's where we are right now. Bronson
You
Reed,
didn't even
the
ask
thick
me
boy.
if I saw the match, though. Maybe I saw it. You don't know.
Yes, I did. I 100% said, did you see Bronson Reed versus Killian Dane? And then when you looked to be funny, I said Killian Dane is the big hairy guy from Sanity. You're like, no, I didn't see him. And we moved on. 100% happened. Grizzled Young Veterans defeat the Forgotten Sons. So not good enough for Hulu. Xia Li defeats Mia Yim. Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez come down. Bronson Reed defeats Killian Dane. Grizzled Young Veterans defeat the Forgotten Sons. Raw or AEW? Spit or Swallow NXT.
Oh, there was no Keith Lee. I'm spitting that shit, dude. What the fuck? That's 2 weeks in a row.
I am too. There was really nothing there, and I can't believe I'm spitting NXT, but I'm going to spit NXT. Like, there wasn't really
By the
anything there.
way,
It wasn't a bad show, but it wasn't a good show.
Only good thing about NXT was the "You Don't Go Here" chant, and that was just so great that the crowd got in on that. Like the crowd
AEW
chanting,
or
"You
Raw?
Don't Go Here." Tell me what happened on AEW, because I saw like the first half, maybe.
We had an Iron Man match, Pac versus Omega. Here's my thing. This is the only, don't get me wrong, this was a damn good match. It was a damn good Iron Man match, and they did a lot of really cool shit in this match. What?
Go ahead, finish what you were saying.
My only criticism is when Pac cost himself to fall against Omega, he should have gone up 2 instead of tying it. So when he hit Omega and got DQ'd, he shouldn't have used that to just get 1 fall. He should have got 2 out of it, so he was in the lead, because there's no point in costing yourself a fall if you're just going to tie it. That is my one little issue with this match.
There's 2. Let me tell you.
Okay?
That first one, what you said, get that second fall out of that. Because guess what? WWE did this years ago. Brock versus Angle on SmackDown. Brock beat the shit out of Angle with a chair in a 60-minute Iron Man match. Got 2 falls out of it. That's 1. Also, into this, Pac or Pac, whatever you want to call him, got robbed. Just like Brett got robbed back at WrestleMania 12. He had Kenny Omega locked in his submission. Time ran out, so he let him go. Just like Brett had Shawn Michaels locked in the sharpshooter and let him go because clock ran out. And they say, hey, sudden death, start now. No, fuck that. I had him in my fucking submission. I let him go because the clock ran out. If we start this shit again, let me put him back in my submission and start the clock right there. Because the only reason why he got this W after all this is done is because I let go of that fucking submission.
And Kenny wins in sudden death.
Yeah, because fuck that. Pac, whatever you want to call him, got fucking robbed.
And then as Pac is on the stage, he is confronted by Orange Cassidy. We found out that tonight, here in roughly about an hour, we're going to see Orange Cassidy versus Pac, and Orange Cassidy is going to try. This should be an entertaining match tonight, Travis. This should
Would
be
he
pretty
try?
good.
Is he gonna try, or is he just gonna be there?
No, they said he's going to try, and then he went like this.
Well, here's the thing. Try is a very malleable term, you know, because try can just mean do more than what you're doing right now. Maybe he just takes the left hand out of his pocket. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. We'll see.
We had a 6-man tag team match. It was the Jurassic Express versus the Inner Circle.
I got to see the Luchasaurus. I was so happy to see the Luchasaurus in action.
And Jurassic Express defeat the Inner Circle because Darby Allin comes down with an assist.
I don't know if I've mentioned this on AEW before. They had a ready-made storyline ready. They didn't make this happen because I just didn't know the Elite exists. Elite versus the Inner Circle. It is like right there in front of you. Because guess what sells, Matt? Gang warfare is a seller. Give us the Elite versus the Inner Circle. But they didn't do that. Why didn't they do that, Matt?
Because they had other things they were working on. They were working towards getting to Cody Rhodes and MJF, which they've done a fantastic job of doing. They didn't want to put John Moxley on the back burner.
One fucking story that I give a shit about.
They didn't want to put John Moxley on the back burner for gang warfare. He wasn't a part of any gang, and he's not going to be.
Well, tell him to join a fucking gang, Matt. Like, it's just, oh my God.
No, you got to have Stone Cold. The worst thing Stone Cold did was join the Alliance.
Yeah, but
some
guess
guys
what?
just aren't gang guys.
That was after years of Stone Cold establishing his character. Guess what? Before the NWO went up against Sting, the NWO went up against the Four Horsemen and took them out. And then Sting took out Hogan.
Moving on, the Butcher and the Blade lose to the Best Friends. The Bunny was there.
How hot was she?
Really hot. Really, really hot, as always. Orange Cassidy, again, is here with the assist. Then we have a women's fatal four-way match. It is Yuka Sakazaki versus Travis's new favorite, Shayna, versus Hikaru Shida versus Big Swole.
Wait. Who's my new favorite?
Last week, you said you really liked Shayna, the chick that dressed in the Dragon Ball Z style.
Oh, yeah, I get it. Yeah. She's my new favorite. And then,
Hikaru Shida wins.
Not in all, because, like, Tony Storm is just like, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
There was a Dark Order promo, and the internet went crazy because they said obsolete, and they all think that when Matt Hardy's contract expires at midnight tonight, that he is going to be the new leader of the Dark Order.
Negative.
Then we have a sit down with the Elite. It is the Young Bucks on one side, Hangman and Kenny Omega on the other, and the Young Bucks and Hangman Page are going back and forth at each other as Kenny Omega just sits there and doesn't know what to do. Hangman,
what can he do?
He should have his partner's back.
I mean, but he's also like, he's partners with the Elite, So what do?
Hangman Page gets up and leaves the interview, and Kenny Omega just sits there shaking his head.
Unfairly judging him.
I agree. It had nothing to do with his. Well, they did talk about his drinking, actually, just a little bit.
I mean,
and then
talking about aside from his drinking, whatever. We have agreed to disagree about that.
We have a weigh-in. It is the John Moxley, Chris Jericho weigh-in. I thought this was fairly clever because you always have a contract signing. This is something different.
Yeah,
You get the weigh
I
in.
appreciate that.
All the Inner Circle came out in fucking matching jumpsuits, ready to go to support their boy Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho, had to take off the title and delay and all this. And of course, Jericho gets busted open by Jon Moxley after they're done weighing in. And then here's where I took an issue. The Inner Circle all jumps Moxley. And out comes Dustin Rhodes. And all Dustin Rhodes does is he takes out Jake Hager and leaves Jon Moxley there in a 4-on-1 beatdown. He just eliminates the one guy. So he didn't even come down to help Moxley or anything.
Who didn't come down to help Moxley? I lost you. What did you say?
Dustin Rhodes.
Why would he?
Because, again, as we've talked about, he also has a problem with the Inner Circle. He came down.
He has a problem with them, but he has no alliance with Moxley. I get it.
And then Darby Allin comes down to make the save, gets a few shots in with his skateboard, but Sammy gets a hold of the skateboard and breaks the skateboard with Darby Allin's head.
I saw that also. Here's the thing. I need to go back to the beginning of Dynamite. There was a comment made by the commentary team. And I don't know if this is a troll or if this is true. Because I have a very bad tendency to not pay attention to much of what's happening in AEW while I watch it. They talked about how this DQ is the first in the history of AEW. Is that true?
I don't think so, but I don't know off the top of my head for every single match that they've had, because I haven't watched every single pay-per-view since AEW's been in existence.
We're going to just assume from the time AEW has been on TNT.
Well, even then, that was back in October, and I don't remember if there. No, I'm pretty sure Nyla Rose has been DQ'd for doing Nyla Rose shit and putting people through tables and stuff.
Here's the thing, though. Like, has that happened? Do you know that?
I'm fairly certain, but I'm not positive.
They made a comment that this was the first DQ in AEW history.
Who made the comment? Because
I want to say it was Excalibur.
Okay. If it was Excalibur, there might be
possibly Tony, but I think it was Excalibur.
Well, here's the thing. If it was JR says some sarcastic ass, surly ass shit on commentary.
I know that shit.
I don't trust
him. That's why he's my favorite commentator. You know, JR is like the grumpy old man that I love so much. I get it. I know for a fact it was not JR. It was either Tony or Excalibur.
We're still running a little bit long, so I'm going to need you to spit or swallow AEW.
I'll swallow it just because we got Luchasaurus and an interesting title thing happening.
This is the first time in a while that Travis has been both tired and drunk on this podcast. And ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, if you want to get Travis to swallow something normally he doesn't want to swallow, tired and drunk, that's the state you got to catch him in. If you want Travis to swallow, tired and drunk, and show him a dinosaur. All right, Monday Night Raw. Kick it off with more of Randy apologizing. This time Kevin Owens comes down. He starts talking about Edge and how he's upset with him for what he did to Edge, but there's no mention of Matt Hardy. Like, why the fuck are we not mentioning that for the last 2 weeks?
Because fuck Matt Hardy.
Which is what I said. Like,
nobody gives a shit about Matt Hardy except Matt Ritter.
That is not true. That is not true. There are definitely more than just one Matt Hardy fan out there, especially of that shit I didn't really get into with the Broken Universe when he was over in Impact because I wasn't watching it. So that leads to a match later in the night. Did you see Garza versus Carrillo?
I just want to point out that Bear is here now, and he also does not give a shit about Matt Hardy.
Did you see Angel?
Lost you. You there? You there? You there?
Did you see Angel Garza versus Humberto Carrillo?
I think so. Yeah, I did.
Garza defeated Humberto, and then we had another match on Crown Jewel or Super Showdown. See Ricochet versus
Why do you
Luke
not know
Gallows.
the difference between Crown Jewel and Super Showdown? Because they're both trash. Anyway, go ahead. What are you saying?
And they're both in Saudi. Ricochet versus Gallows.
No, I didn't see that shit.
You see Aleister Black get jumped?
By who?
The OC.
Negative.
You see Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman promo about Ricochet.
I saw Brock. No, I saw Paul Heyman. Yeah, I saw it.
Brock and Paul cut a promo about how
Yeah.
they're going to beat Ricochet. And that was one of the things at Crown Jewel that people were upset about was how Ricochet, even though he lasted longer than Kofi, got squashed with no offense at Crown Jewel. Not a dick kick, not a nothing.
Fuck Ricochet. Kofi was actually the fucking WWE champion. So anybody who has an issue with that, fuck you, kiss my black ass.
I'm going to assume you did not see Aleister Black versus Eric Rowan.
I didn't even know that happened.
Did you see the interview with Drew McIntyre?
Negative.
Really? Did you see Bobby Lashley on Truth TV?
I didn't even know they did another Truth TV. What the fuck?
Which led to Bobby Lashley versus Truth.
Didn't see that either. What the fuck did they cut? How did they do this shit? Go ahead.
That's like 5 things they've cut. But anyway,
Go ahead.
The contract signing for the Women's Elimination Chamber match. You see that?
Yes.
So we got all 3 members of the Riot Squad, Natalya, Asuka, and eventually Shayna Baszler, who shows up fashionably late. And all I really want to say about this is I feel so bad for Sarah Logan, Travis.
Did we talk about the "You Don't Go Here" chance on the NXT?
We did.
Okay, just making sure. I looked at my notes. I'm like,
Because Sarah Logan feels like the least significant member of this whole Elimination Chamber.
she is.
And on top of that, the least significant member of the Riot Squad who is feuding. So they went around.
Yes.
Without Shayna being there, they went around and had everyone sign. And Jerry the King Lawler, who, by the way, worst person in 2020 to officiate a 6-woman contract signing.
Just let them do
Is
it.
going around having all the women sign. So Natalya signs, and then Liv signs, and then Liv brings it over and gives it to Ruby, and Ruby signs, and Liv staring her down and shit. And then Asuka signs, and Asuka has some shit to say. They don't announce or even show Sarah signing the contract. I don't know that Sarah did, because when it was Sarah's turn to sign, that's when Shayna's music hit, and she showed up. Then Shayna got in the ring, and she took the contract, and she signed it. And then Natalya got in her face, and then Asuka got in there, and those girls brawled, and Natalya and Asuka went away. Liv Morgan jumped over the table and went after Ruby with a fucking fantastic leap. Poor Sarah's on the side acting like a ref trying to break it up. And then Becky comes down, and Becky goes after Shayna Baszler. Is there any doubt in your mind, any doubt, that Shayna is winning this Elimination Chamber, and that's the match we're getting at WrestleMania?
No, it's just like pretty obvious that we're getting Baszler to win this fucking match. Like, okay, give it to me. Whatever.
Did you see these singles matches, Rollins versus Ford and Dawkins versus Murphy?
Wait, what was the first one?
Seth Rollins versus Montez Ford.
I saw that.
Did you see Angelo Dawkins versus Buddy Murphy right before it?
Negative.
Really?
Here's the thing. I think I saw that first one on YouTube.
So anyway, Rollins ends up defeating Montez Ford, and Dawkins defeats Buddy Murphy by DQ. None of this matters because it was to set up the tag team match that they had in Saudi, where Ford and Dawkins did not win the Raw tag team titles and lost to Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Then I'm assuming you saw Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton.
Yeah.
So KO loses to RKO. Seth and crew come down and interfere, which whatever, they've got problems with Kevin Owens still, but basically the allies come down. You got the Street Profits and Viking Raiders come down to take out the Axis Powers and Team Seth. We find out that this ref is a disciple of Seth Rollins. He fast counts KO, giving him the win. Then, as KO is interrogating him, trying to find out what's going on, he rips at his shirt, and the guy's got a Seth Rollins Messiah shirt on underneath. So Kevin Owens then proceeds to beat him up, put him through a table. Fun shit. How do you feel about Seth having a referee in his pocket now?
That's someone who was, a fan of WCW. They had Nick Patrick. Makes sense. I get it. I'm with it.
All right, Travis. Monday Night Raw. I'm sorry. Not good enough for Hulu. Monday Night Raw edition. Ricochet defeats Luke Gallows. The OC jumped Aleister Black in the back before his match. Black ends up still beating Eric Rowan during the match. Rowan's cage gets knocked off of the stairs, and it's laying there for like 5 minutes on its side without Eric Rowan going over there to check on the animal inside that he so desperately cares about and loves, or even picking it up. Then we find out that Aleister Black wants AJ. He's pissed off that he got jumped, and he wants AJ. At Super Showdown, we had a gauntlet match. The OC jumped Rey Mysterio and took him out. AJ was trying to declare himself the winner, and then the gong hit, and The Undertaker came down and defeated AJ, even though he wasn't even in the gauntlet, with one choke slam while still wearing his coat and hat.
He's the Undertaker. Doesn't matter.
I agree with you, but other people were upset by this.
Fuck them.
My thought is, this is a big hope. Undertaker and Aleister Black versus the OC at WrestleMania.
It's not happening. I hear you.
Why is it not happening?
Because we got Roman Reigns has to vanquish the beast that is the Undertaker. So
what are you talking about?
What?
Roman Reigns is fighting Goldberg.
You're right. I'm drunk.
You're drunk as fuck.
I am.
Yeah. So we're just going to finish up not good enough for Hulu Monday Night Raw.
Do that. Here's the thing.
We got a Drew McIntyre interview. Oh, boy.
Go ahead. Finish.
Drew McIntyre's interview. They talk to him about how he got here, and they bring up his past and all this stuff to kind of get people behind him and get emotionally invested in Drew. Lashley comes out on Truth TV. Nothing really happens. They talk about the gauntlet match again with that Undertaker won, even though he wasn't in it. He walked away with the aggro crag. Lashley ends up defeating Truth in a one-on-one match. Mind you, Truth beat 3 men in that gauntlet. He beat Bobby Lashley. He then beat Andrade Cien Almas, who made his return. And then he beat Eric Rowan by DQ before AJ came down and beat him. So Truth made it through 3 guys in that gauntlet, which was the first match on the show. So not good enough for Hulu, ladies and gentlemen. All the stuff with Aleister Black and the OC, Ricochet defeating Luke Gallows, the Drew McIntyre interview, and Bobby Lashley on Truth TV and their match. Spit or swallow, Monday Night Raw.
I'll swallow it.
So you swallowed Raw, you swallowed SmackDown, you swallowed AEW, and you spit NXT.
Did I? Yeah, Keith Lee wasn't on there. Yeah.
So what was the best show of the week, Travis?
This hurts. Guess I gotta give it to AEW.
And I will agree with that. I'm going to give it to AEW. For me, the second week in a row. For Travis, the first time ever. We have decided here on the Smackin' Raw podcast, AEW had the best show of the week. Travis, does that mean that next week we are still going to go to NWA Power? Or are we going to keep watching AEW Dynamite?
Yeah, they're gonna give us the payoff this weekend, so I don't give a shit. But I'll let you decide. What do you want me to watch?
Let's give NWA a shot and see what you think of that. And
send me a text on Monday and tell me what
I will.
Monday.
Okay, it's not available till Tuesday, but I will let you know.
Okay, Tuesday.
Yeah. I'll text you the day of.
Okay.
Yes. When it comes out on YouTube, because that's where you find it is on YouTube. I will text you the link. All right, ladies and gentlemen. As you guys know, you guys can find us on Patreon. You guys can find us, our merch store on Teespring. Everywhere else, you guys can find us. We've got link trees there in both my profiles at Matt Ritter. There is Linktree or linktr.ee/Smackin' Raw. That'll get you all of the places that you can find the audio for this podcast. Travis has the Linktree for Creation World. That'll show you where you can get our Patreon, our merchandise, YouTube, Pornhub, anywhere you want to go for Creation World and the podcast involved in that.
Let them know where we are number one.
As Travis said earlier when we talked about Pornhub, we are the number one wrestling podcast on Pornhub. Also, you guys can check out the number one Arrowverse podcast on Pornhub. That is Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow. You guys can also find that on Facebook at facebook.com/groups/Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow. If you're on Facebook and you need help with any of this, you guys can find it all at facebook.com/Creation World. On Twitter, you guys can find it at The Creation World as well as Instagram. You guys can find Travis on Twitter and Instagram at Sir Cussalot. That is at SIR_CUSSALOTT. And as I said, you guys can find me on Twitter only at Matt Ritter. That is at MATTRIDDER. We talked about the Facebook group earlier. That is facebook.com/group/Smackin' Raw. And Wild Wild Westworld is coming back soon, so stay tuned and look out for that. Other than that, please, if you guys have the spare change, the $1, the $5, anything you guys can throw our way towards the Patreon, any tier, any donation is appreciated. If you guys have a little bit more money, my birthday is coming up. All I ask, guys, is you throw some money to the Patreon or you go buy a shirt off our merch store, preferably the one I designed and released with our new Smackin' Raw logo that says the number one podcast on the hub, number one wrestling podcast on the hub on the back. Any and all money would be appreciated so Travis does not have to sling that dick. And until we get our dildo lineup, as of right now, we could use it. So we appreciate it. For Sir Cussalot, Travis Pointer, I am the Warden, Matt Ritter. We are Smackin' It Raw, and we are that damn good.
Peace.